one. Got a bass. It didn't take. Oh, that is a nice one too. I didn't realize he was that big. I hope you guys can make out what I got going on here. That is a nice bass. Maybe I will have to get the, oh, stay hooked. Maybe I will have to get the boat out. Oh, wow. You guys hear that drag? Love that audible drag. Oh, now I only have 8, I think that's 8-pound leader. Might need to loosen the drag. Come on. Get up here. Get up here. There he is. I'm gonna have to get on out here in the water, but I got my muck boots on, so. You guys see him? More clear picture. Get over here. Oh my goodness. Can you guys see that bass? Hang on, let me hit my button. Woo! Well, let me try to get this freaking thing out of my face. Out of your guys' face. Look at that fish. If that is easy 4-pounder, 3 3/4 or 4, is over 3 1/2. If I do not catch another bass, this well worth the trip. That my favorite combo. This is my favorite overall setup. Aldebaran, BFS, XG 661, Cayenne Teton, probably 662 would be as good. My favorite thing in the world to catch. Okay. All right. Beautiful largemouth bass. We're gonna let old baby loose. I'm not gonna worry about jumping. Get on out of there. All right, look where I'm at. I should probably get the boat out and get on out here and try to catch a bunch more because they may be biting right now. This is nasty conditions. I don't recommend you guys doing what I'm doing out here. But okay, I know over there I had a game plan to go over there and drift down on that point, but this area over here just looks too freaking good to pass up. So, oh, right there. Oh, there's a little stick. I just knew it. I'm like, I gotta get back over here. I cannot pass this area up. Get up here. Yeah, I switched. I went to my old favorite. This is my favorite thing to throw, so I'm gonna throw it. The only bad thing is I got out here with these treble hooks realizing I don't have my pliers. Or I've got two things. I got forceps and pliers, but they're both in my big main tackle box. Let me see if I can get this guy unhooked. Which, when you're dealing with the straight hooks, isn't too bad to not have pliers, but as you guys can see, we're going to throw him back out. Maybe he can. A lot of times, throw them back out, let them try to help get themselves unhooked. Jumping and carrying on a little bit. Sometimes, as you can see, will help them get themselves unhooked. He's hooked in the tongue. Dang it. I may have to just throw the small ones just for that reason. They're these hooks. There we go. There he is. Those hooks can be hard to get out. Get a long, crazy long cast. If I get one there, I'm gonna yank as hard as I can. That's an, oh, there he is. All the way Got a skier getting all the way up. That's why I call this Power BFS. It'll throw, I could throw that 1/8 ounce on this too. Maybe not as far. Definitely not as far as I can get this 1/4 ounce, but you can throw lightweight baits, yet you still have the ability, to kind of power the little ones in if you're far out, or you know, I don't know. I just, for me and bass fishing, this Kying Teton is about the perfect, gunk on my hand, size for just all around bass fishing for me. There's a hit. There we go. Oh, little bitty dude running hard. Well, hopefully you guys kind of realize what the power of a backup will do for you. Yeah, I know. He is far from big, but he's an extra bass that was brought in with our backup bait. Which, if the rain does stop, I may go ahead and load up everything and come out and, heck, maybe, oh, got one. Maybe make a whole nother video, I don't know. It feels good right now, it's barely raining. Yep, right over by the trees. Get up here. Whoa. I think I had to get a hold of you. I don't even know how well this video is going to look. Man, I forget what brand I got, those red treble hooks, but man, they're good. They're almost too good. They're almost, better have pliers if you want to use good. He is hooked. Dang. That guy was hooked very good. All right, let's go. Usually, that cast was horrible. Even though it's a heavier bait, it's got a different release. Come on. I got a fish. I had a fish on the whole time. I think it was a whole time. I never really felt it settle in. Yeah, he almost swallowed it. Backup baits, boys and girls. That's why I like throwing them. This is going to be hard to get unhooked. He got that worm all the way in his mouth. He's been hooked before. He don't learn. Sometimes the little guys don't learn. See, I didn't do that go around. He's been hooked, released before. Still doing his thing. But that's why, if you guys got anything out of this video, really, is to go ahead and throw that worm. Even though you're, out there doing your thing, topwater. If you see a spot like, oh, that's just too good, nothing may hit topwater in that area, but don't be afraid. Have your backup bait, whatever it may be, maybe a soft crawl, something you know, it may be even a square bill, you know, just something goes down a little deeper. Backup bait could technically be anything. I like soft plastic myself. This one. I think then it may just be a matter of you hit the right depth at the right time, right area, but I don't know. Anyway, what I'm getting at is the big bass I caught I was right where I'm at now, casting across this way. So basically coming what I would call shallow towards the deeper water. So I'm gonna hit that again like that, just to see if that may have made the difference. And I'm working it fast. More like a, you know, the speed of, like that. Oh, get over here. Just like that, more like the speed that I was working the whopper plopper that day that I caught one off of that, but I caught a huge one. But do you guys see that, what I'm talking about? I threw in that area with everything, with poppers, with the worms. And I was at a whole different angle though. Ow, that hooked me. Son of a, you guys see that? Both hooks went right in me and right out. I'm definitely getting pliers. I'm not doing any other fishing until I get some pliers. I'm bleeding like a stuck pig. So for any of you naysayers about how we don't know what it feels like to be a fish, if they can feel pain, that stings. And for the record, if I'd had pliers, that wouldn't have happened. Ah, that hurt. Look at all the blood. Oh man, I'm gonna bleed out. I'm gonna bleed out fishing out in the boonies. Would you guys like to see the sight of blood? That is, both the tips of those fingers are stinging like crazy. Don't try this at home, folks. That one is bleeding. Ooh, that stings. That nasty, dirty water. Ooh, that made it sting even more. Look at that. Okay, we're changing it up slightly. I've been to the truck. I got the depth finder. Got me another pop. Got the pliers, most important thing we went back for. But I brought out the Dr. Frankenstein. We're gonna throw him mainly on this rod because I want to catch some fish on this rod and get a feel for how it feels. You know, just using overall casting, catching, that kind of thing. It's my newest BFS rod, newest rod period, but newest BFS. I bought the Dragon. I was trying to get the ProFlex 2. That was an impossible task last year. Like where I tried to order it from, it was around the whole COVID thing. I don't know what happened. I got the Dragon, but not the ProFlex 2. I had to cancel that and get the money back. That was like an ordeal. But I'm not impressed with the Dragon. I haven't even fished it yet. It just feels, I don't like it. Feels too funky. I may use it at some point, but it's more like I wouldn't even call it a true, I guess it could be considered BFS, but I call it more of just a finesse crankbait rod. It's very soft all the way throughout. And it feels very tip heavy. 2-piece, I don't like it. I can say if I have a 2-piece, I don't want it to be more of a full flex type rod. There we go. Finally caught a fish. Never fails. That could be a crappie. When you bring out the Doctor, it just catches stuff. That's why I use it. Bluegill. I think that's why I originally started just whacking, was bluegill one day. I probably should use pliers. I'm gonna end up hooked again. But If you guys don't know about the Doctor off AliExpress, they're only like $1. Look up Dr. Frankenstein on one of my other videos. I show links and all that. But first crappie, first few casts with the Doctor, and we're catching crappie. Now I am right on top of something. I don't know what's right below the boat, but Dr. Frankenstein won't be any good for that. So I'm gonna switch gears, grab this worm and drop it straight down. It is not deep right here, so I probably will spook whatever was right there, but you never know. You never know until you throw. We're just out here in the rain. It's 11 o'clock. I probably fished for about 3 hours, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, and I took a little break, about a half hour, just kind of dried off, checked my phone, you know, did stuff that you do out of, right there. Oh, right there, like I thought. I knew there was something underneath the boat. But that kind of thing. And then came back out, decided, I was debating on what should I do. Should I keep fishing? Because I really don't like fishing, trying to make videos with this thing on. But I mean, the bite's here. Fish are hitting. I probably won't come back here again this weekend, so I figure I might as well just, you know, fish it out. Fish out the day, get done, whatever. It's very shallow. That's what I figured. We're only in like 3-4 foot of water all the way out here. There's a hit. Oh, another hit. Got another one right there. So yeah, I don't know if you remember earlier, I was casting out this way. They just didn't want top water, and I talked about how I probably was drifting across the tops of them. They're little ones, but I wanted to make sure and get the depth finder hooked up, and it showed me a little spot of something. I couldn't remember exactly where it was, but it's right up there. We're drifting away from it now with the wind, but this should keep me dragging across it. Now, I'm hoping to pull out a big one out here. I'm kind of giving up on top. I've hit almost everywhere. There's a hit. I've hit almost everywhere on top water. See how they're just packed up in here? And kind of caught what I probably could catch easily on top water. I mean, I could still keep going, and I'm sure I'd catch a few here and there, but I figured settle in. Let's catch some on something else and try to actually, you know, put together some kind of different pattern other than top water. But it's definitely working out here. Okay, before we totally end this video, I want to bring up a couple things just to show you what I had already talked about. Hopefully you can make out the bottom of the boat. It's dry back here. I just finished, you know, I was building up water. There's still a little bit. Me and the battery are up front, so that's the low spot is the front of the boat. So as you can see, we've been out, it's 11:30. I got here about 8:30, so from the time I put that drain plug in till now, pretty much 4 hours. So with just this cup, I was able, you know, it's not raining hard, but it was raining decent here and there. I was pretty much able to not sink. So what I'm going to do now, before I'm not totally done, but I just want to get a few things out of the way. I talked about this combo BFS being my favorite and what it can and can't cast, and this is my favorite thing to cast. But I guess I figured I should let you guys see just how well if at all, it'll cast these little baits that I'm throwing with the true BFS, you know, ultralight rods. Now, you know, being the Aldebaran BFS XG, that part's capable of casting down this small. But for you guys wanting to see if you're interested in the 6.62, or if you could still come across the 6.61 Teton, and you know, how low can it throw? Will it still be fun to throw these little baits? So I'll just kind of show you that yes, you can still throw 1/8 ounce easily. You can still throw 16th. This is probably closer to an 1/8 ounce. Wow, we just went across something. But I wanted to get that part in. And yes, I'm throwing it very accurately, very comfortably. No issues. Everything I throw for bass can be done on this combo. It could be done with the PW100 on this Kying Teton. Now the 632 or the 522 SUL would be way better for, you know, say this size, 1/8 ounce or lighter. Would probably be more fun. Not necessarily distance wise, because once you do get shorter, the 6'6", as you can see, I can zing that thing. I actually throw an 1/8 ounce further with it than I can anything shorter that I've used. So I hope that helps. I know everybody tends to have issues with this BFS in general, but the rods, to me anyway, the reels are no-brainers. I've tested out so many different reels. If you guys follow the reel test and my channel, and I mean, you've caught on that the reels are pretty much simple. You get good bearings with the lightest spool possible. That's usually your best shot at BFS. Magnets somewhat come into play, but I'm not sure. I'm going to look. My glasses are all wet, but I'm going to look at this. The brakes, because now I've moved it to a different rod. They're all open. That does not seem to be what I need. So we're going to try and see if we can not backlash. I think that's because I was throwing those heavier chatterbaits with the MGL. And I think to get a zing, you know, hard zing, I was getting too many overruns and that. So we're going to try 2. Okay, that's definitely better. I don't know if you guys saw that, but with an MGL anyway, this is the MGL. I'd had this on my 6.6, my 803. There we go. So I'll talk about that once I get this fish in. But sometimes you got to change the brakes, even though you're on a very similar rod. But when you're throwing the baits, usually what can dictate the big change. Let's look at this fish, and I'll talk real quick about what I did and had done and all that. Well, not as big as I wanted, but we're still catching them. But so I've changed. I've kind of got a different way I throw. I'm not necessarily throwing this as hard as I can. Like when I get out there crank, you guys have seen me with the chatterbaits, 1/2 ounce chatterbaits. I lay into it and zing it. And I had all 4 of these brakes on because of that. Because, you know, I had this on, you know, it's an MGL spool. Look at all that crazy stuff going on in that depth finder. But anyway, then I noticed when I'm throwing this thing, it was not wanting to get very far. I'm not really zinging it, because if you throw it too hard, you literally will misshape the worm. It'll slide down the hook or do whatever. And it's an 1/8 ounce jig head with that worm. It's pretty heavy. You just kind of, you know, give it a good, the rod will load somewhat, and it gets a good cast if your brakes are light enough. So I actually had to take the 4 that were on and turn 2 off. So it's got 2 on, 2 off. Oh, that was a tap. And I could probably go try just 1, but I'm kind of that guy that likes 1 on each side, more balanced. It's a possibility I could only need 1 of those brakes activated, but I'm not going to try it. definitely is casting plenty far enough now without any extra effort. So let's go. Okay, unfortunately the rain's picked up enough that I got you guys under the wraps again. And I'm really liking this combo. When I had the, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the BFS on the 802, but as you can see, once you add a little bit, I guess anything, there we go, there's another one, that might, oh, that's a, did you see that jump? Did you guys see that? Let me get that. Oh, I'm gonna probably lose that fish. I gave him some slack. Let's see if he'll jump again. That fish was a jumping fool. He's gonna jump again. Oh, that's a good bass. I told you guys. Get me. I'm trying to keep back out of the way. That's a good chunk. That's a football. I want to say this is only 8-pound test. I think. Hooked perfect right in the top of the mouth. That is a nice bass. I should probably get a pick, but I don't know. Jesus. I got my pliers, but usually I don't need them. Jeez. Look at that dude. Huh? That is 1.5 pounds easy on a very short fish, but that sucker, look at that belly. Roundness. Woo! But I was just gonna say, as I was talking about, this, get my hands, but my hands are so, like I've been 2 hours in the bathtub, but if you guys are, I guess, want to know when would the SV or the MGL reels really come into play as far as making a difference, is when you have, you know, a softer rod, more what I call finesse, medium action or lighter. But this combo, I kind of whipped that one, it's just killer for, it'll throw 16th ounce too, but like that 1/4, 1/8 ounce, 3/8, it's like a, just an awesome setup. Now you could use another reel, but I recommend something with a shallower spool for, you know, them lighter 1/8 ounce jig heads. You can throw 16th ounce jig heads with the, you know, soft plastic. It's going to be closer to an 1/8. This is really well over 1/8 of an ounce. More, but I want to do an outro while I can. Hope you like this video. Get out in the rain, as long as there's no thunder and lightning. As you guys can see, it's just, you know, a steady light rain. The boat's filling up. I'm getting ready to drain it again with this. But you can get out on the water, Topwater, don't forget your backup baits, that kind of thing. Anyway, get out and go bass bonsai for yourself. I know I look ridiculous, but this emergency poncho, you guys can, you know the deal, you guys can find them everywhere for $1. I mean, they're awesome for just keeping you overall. I'm still dry, I'm not cold, I'm damp, I'm wet, my arms, my legs are starting to get a little bit, but anyway, the GoPro's safe underneath there. If you do want to record your own stuff, you can pull it up how you see me do it. It's not, is it ideal? No, but does it work? Yes. So get out and go bass bonsai for yourself.